What's up guys, Tay2Lil back at it again with another video. You may be asking yourself, why is everything apart? Well, I've been looking into some issues I've had with the Gsxr 1000 of mine, and turns out we need to take the stretch off. So in this video, that's what we're going to do. We're going to take the stretch off. We're probably also going to take the lowering links, but set them to the factory settings. So basically we're going to unlower it probably, and then we got to cut the chain again and cut it down to fit with factory specs. So that's what we're doing, cutting the chain, replacing the rear brake line, taking the stretch off. Without further ado, let's get into it. Tay with the heat. Okay, so some of you may be asking what exactly is wrong with the stretch, or why is everything apart in the first place. So let me explain. So I had an issue with my rear caliper where everything, if you look, and some of this is corroded from weather recently, but if you look right here and right here, it's been very worn into, like something was rubbing against it, and that's exactly what was happening. So initially I had bought a caliper rebuild kit, which I was going to shoot a video on, kind of like really excited to get this thing back on the road, so I didn't, and then still had the same issue. So I rebuilt the caliper on this and bled the brakes like 4 times trying to make sure it wasn't like just air in the line, and it was still having the same issue. The actual issue, if I roll the wheel back, you may happen to notice on the rotor, it has rub marks all over the rotor. So what was happening was something was rubbing against this rotor. Long story short, come to find out, it's the caliper mounting bracket. This side is okay, this side is not. So all of this you're seeing right here is where it has been rubbing into the rotor like that. What caused this? Well, if you look, the mounting bracket has a little lip right there, as you can see. The stretch does not have a lip to catch the caliper from doing this, right? So what's happening is I'm pressing the brake, it's pushing one brake pad, or one piston, so it's pushing all the pressure over. And what it's causing it to do is basically essentially sit in the stretch like this, and the caliper mounting bracket pushes over like that, right? Pushes into the rotor, causes it to rub, which is causing the issue. So I'm going to show you a little bit more in detail what I'm talking about. So if you're a subscriber of my channel, you know that I just recently redid sprockets and the chain on this. And that's when I noticed the issue get worse. When I initially bought the bike, I noticed there was just a tiny bit of rotor wear on the rotor, where like something was like potentially rubbing against it. But what it is if you look, what you can see in this is the factory caliper mounting area right here. It has a little lip, just like the mounting bracket has its little lip right here. This is the swing arm extensions. It doesn't have a lip, so what it's doing is, yeah, you can slide it in here just like that, normal. But what's happening is I'm pressing the brake, caliper bracket sitting here, and I press the brake and it does like this, right? There's no lip to catch this thing. It's literally just a slider. There is nothing here to catch it. So I'm pressing the brake and it's just doing that, hitting the rotor, causing the entirety of my issue. So I called it quits with the stretch. If you followed my videos, you noticed I said when I did the stretch, once the chain wears out, I'm taking the stretch off. Well, we're doing that a little bit early, actually a lot of bit early. So that's what we're gonna do. Take these swing arm extensions off, move those lowering links to the factory height. I may just take the stretch blocks off and just see how it looks, but honestly I think I'll probably prefer the factory ride height for the smoothness. But yeah, long explanation, but that's the general, get-go of what we're doing. So taking these off is what we're gonna start. And to take all these off, I think all it is these 4 bolts right here, here, let me get you a better angle, right here, and then same thing on the other side, but I think there may be a bolt on the other side, like over here or something. Potentially, maybe not. So we're gonna do that and I'll be right back. stretch is off. The only thing that I'll need to do some research on is, if you look right here, if you looked at the time lapse, oh, that little guy that just fell and is dangling around, I don't know if that's on there from factory, and I assume it is because there's like down at the bottom hole, I'll have to zoom in really close, but there's like a little nipple that it like sits in. The top side, the top hole has a screw that goes in, and then the bottom side has a nipple that it sits on to align everything. I'm pretty sure that's factory, but I'm gonna try to look at some images or something and look at some pictures. But yeah, after we get all that figured out, so I'm going to do the lowering links the factory size. I'm pretty sure I know I mentioned lowering kit as like keeping the lowering link and just taking the stretch off. In all honesty, I think I'd feel better just going ahead and putting it back to factory height. Probably I'm gonna still decide on this, and I'm gonna do some research on that, but for tonight I think I'm gonna call it there. But yeah guys, so I'll see you in day 2. All right, so one thing we're gonna do next is the annoying part, and that's gonna be the chain. I ordered a new master link because I'm gonna have to cut one of the links that are on the master link now to cut down size basically to another link, so I can make the cut from a 131 link chain down to a 110, which is what is on these from factory. Connect the new master link to that, and then I'll have my 110 link chain. So that's gonna be a lengthy process. So without further ado, I'm gonna go ahead and get started. I'll be right back. Tay with the heat. The chain cut down, but there's the new link right here, so it's all in spec and stuff, and it's all good. So I'm gonna move on to taking the lowering links off. So I already did the part of at least moving the fairings or unbolting them, so I can get this jack under there, get it like basically up under this short shock support, but you get a jack under there and just kind of lightly support it, and then you can loosen the bolts for the lowering links, and then you'll be able to take the bolts and nuts off and then move it back to where it should be. So this shouldn't be too terribly hard, hopefully. Really just depends on how tight the bolts are and how hard it is to get to them. But before I move on to the kickstand, I want to make sure I can do this first and get this knocked out. So I'm gonna do that first, and I'll be right back with you guys. All right, quick little update. I think I ended up getting the dog bones loose. The ones that are on here, I'm hoping that, from the rule of thumb, from what I've understood and researched on, was the shorter the dog bone, the higher the bike actually sits. So I'm hoping that it was in this second hole right here, which is, you know, longer. So I'm hoping when I go down to that second one right there, that it'll actually make the bike the factory right height. So I got them loose, I got them off, so I'm going to try and see how hard it is to get the suspension to go and fit this other one. So I'll be back if that happens, or if I run into issues. Hopefully I don't run into issues. Okay, so I did actually end up running into an issue. The lowering link is basically too long to fit into the factory spot now. So my only option is to really cut the link diagonally to try to make it fit right, if that makes sense. Or just order new links. So I'm gonna decide, see what I wanna do, and then go from there. But it's basically like all this upper corner piece, like right here. Okay, so I did decide to go ahead and just cut the lowering links. I have not done so yet, but in the meantime, I'm going to go ahead and replace my rear brake line, because with the stretch it has an extended brake line, and I could use it right now still, but I'm just not the biggest fan of it, to be honest. So I ordered on eBay, I found a OEM size brake line, but it's a braided cable line. So I found this on there. I'm not really sure about the brand, but I'm sure it was okay and good enough. I'm gonna throw this on there. Oh, it did come with the new banjo bolts too for the caliper and the master cylinder for the rear. So without further ado, let's get going. Hey, Alright, I know I jumped ahead a little bit here, but I went ahead and got the brake line replaced. I cut the dog bone links and then put them on, so we're back to factory height. Went ahead and took the wheel back off because I know I need to put the caliper mounting bracket, and I need to bolt that little like shim piece right there, or screw it back in. Then I can put the wheel back on, but before I do that, I'm gonna clip those fairings on the bottom back together. So I'm gonna basically knock out everything else, kickstand and bolts, the adjustment bolts, and then I'm gonna put the wheel on last and then adjust the chain, and then it'll be done and good to go. So I'm gonna knock that out. I'll be right back.